I want to get you in on one more piece of policy that I want to report tonight, make sure people know. Donald Trump may actually hope some people don't notice this summer story, but there's a new administration rule limiting health care access for 4 million women in America. Planned Parenthood saying it's basically got to withdraw from federal funding. Because of this rule, it restricts money for clinics that provide or refer abortion services, which, as a factual matter, is a constitutionally protected right. Here's new Planned Parenthood's leader speaking out.
Trump and the Trump administration are essentially bullies. They are forcing us out of a program by endorsing and enforcing this unethical gag rule. We are just not going to engage in providing substandard care for low-income Americans. This is a fight that we're going to continue to engage in, and we need Congress to step in and act.
Yeah, I mean, if I was if I was saying what Donald Trump wants me to say right now, I would say this is a war on women. Abortion is a right that all women in this country should have access to. Because I don't want to do that, I'm not going to say that it's a war on women. It's actually a war on people. It's a war on Americans, because reproductive rights is about freedom, and everyone who is pregnant definitely had a guy involved somehow in some capacity. And so men also benefit from reproductive rights and reproductive justice. They benefit from the Planned Parenthood clinics that are going to be shutting down or not going to be able to give STI screenings, cancer screening. Those are things that are very important for all Americans. It's also a war on poor people. 75% of clinics, Planned Parenthood clinics, not 75% of the clinics, 75% of the people who use the clinics are people who are either on the poverty line or below the poverty line. And so it comes back to our entire conversation. They want us to make it about identity. They want us to make it about feminism, and scare away those voters. It's not about that. It's about poor people in this country, many of them who are voting for Donald Trump, who are voting against their best interests.
And so, Brittany, I wonder if you could, as we say around here, bring it all home for us. Because as Liz says, these are constitutional rights, these are gender issues, there is a feminist component. Yeah. But there's also the facts that this is an administration that over just the past few months has taken this rule, which targets, as you say, many people who benefit from these services, but also disproportionately the poor. They're going after SNAP food assistance. They're going after school lunches. Yes. We did a report on this show. Some viewers may remember. The majority of school lunch recipients happen to be poor white Americans in rural areas. Yes. Of course, the question of whether we want a government that provides food to hungry 10-year-olds, regardless of where they live, is the question. And these stories sometimes get pushed aside by all of the noise.
That's right. There is no moral compass on the right now. Trump is no beacon of anything but darkness. And part of what he is doing is using the law and weaponizing it against the poor, against women, against people who can get pregnant, against people of color. And the thing we have to remember is that all these forms of tribalism and division, they go together. You don't get a racist president without also getting a president who is deeply sexist. And that actually is a moral call to women. Most white women voters voted for Donald Trump in the last election. Now they are dealing with the consequences of having this man assault their rights. And as a byproduct of that, you see trans people who also need reproductive care services being assaulted, and you see poor black women. I needed reduced lunches as a kid growing up with a single mom in a poor southern state. And so I wouldn't be here today without those kinds of governmental services. And that is Trump's point. He doesn't want to create a world where Liz, Mark, and I are sitting at the table helping to drive the discussion. And that is the thing that must change.
Thanks to each of you. I think we learned a lot here and a lot of important points at a time when there is other noise. Brittany Cooper, Mark Thompson, Liz Plank, thank you guys.
Thank you.
And have a nice summer.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.